Imagine a place where the wisdom of entire civilizations, Egyptians, Greeks, Persians, and Indians, was gathered in one magnificent building. Thousands of scrolls, perhaps even hundreds of thousands. Maps of the stars, medical practices, inventions centuries ahead of their time. Now imagine it all. Turn to ash. Welcome to the Dusty Scroll. Today, we journey into one of the greatest historical tragedies of all time. The Library of Alexandria. What was truly inside its walls? How did it vanish? And most tantalizing of all, what knowledge did humanity lose forever? Let's open the scroll of time. The story begins in Egypt, around the early 3rd century BCE, under the rule of Ptolemy, the first Soter, a general of Alexander the Great. After Alexander's death, his empire fragmented, and Egypt became a Greek-ruled kingdom. Ptolemy had a vision to create a center of learning that would surpass anything the world had seen. This vision was realized by his son, Ptolemy II, Philadelphus, who officially established the Great Library of Alexandria, likely within the royal quarter of the city, near the harbor. The mission, simple yet audacious, to collect every book in the world. Ancient sources claim the library eventually held between 80,000 and 400,000 scrolls, an astronomical number for the time. But this was no public lending library. It was a hub for scholars, philosophers, scientists, and poets from across the known world. So, what did the library contain? We may never know the full list, but ancient writings and fragments give us a tantalizing peek. Greek tragedies and comedies that no longer exist today, medical treatises from Egypt and India, Apollonian, astronomical records that might have predated Greek science by centuries, lost plays of Sophocles, Euripides, and Aeschylus, possible original writings from Homer and early versions of the Iliad and Odyssey, entire schools of philosophy now gone, perhaps pre-Socratic texts never copied again. The librarians and scholars translated texts into Greek, often rewriting them for clarity. Ships that docked in Alexandria were searched for manuscripts, which were copied or confiscated outright. Alexandria was not just preserving knowledge, it was curating it. Within those walls, science wasn't just discussed, it evolved. Take Eratosthenes. Using simple shadows and math, he calculated the Earth's circumference to an accuracy of less than 1% error. Over 2,000 years ago, our hero of Alexandria, who designed what might have been the first steam-powered ingenious spinning device using heated air pressure. It's called the allopile. It was considered a novelty. But imagine where we'd be if it had been industrialized. Galen wrote extensively on medicine. Hipparchus charted the stars. Aristarchus of Samos proposed a heliocentric solar system centuries before Copernicus. It was a cradle of the scientific method. Before the term existed, Alexandria wasn't just a building, it was a community of intellect. Callimachus, the poet-scholar, organized the library's contents and developed one of the first library cataloging systems. Zenodotus corrected Homer's texts. And later, there was Hypatia, philosopher, astronomer, and mathematician, who became a symbol of classical knowledge. She lectured publicly, taught men and women alike, and was tragically killed by a mob in 415 CE during rising religious tensions. Their work laid the foundation for many disciplines, but most of it vanished with the scrolls. How did it all disappear? The answer isn't a single event, but a series of tragic blows. Julius Caesar, in 48 BCE, set fire to the Egyptian fleet during the siege of Alexandria. That fire likely spread to parts of the city, including the library. Some scholars argue it was only a section. Others say it was devastating. Centuries later, Theophilus, under Emperor Theodosius I, ordered the destruction of pagan temples. The Serapeum, a temple that may have housed part of the library's collection, was destroyed in 391 CE. Then in 642 CE, the Muslim conquest of Egypt brought another wave of destruction. Legend says Caliph Omar ordered the remaining scrolls burned, stating, "If they agree with the Quran, they're unnecessary. If they contradict it, they're dangerous." Modern historians debate the truth of this account. What we know for sure is this. By the end of the 7th century, the Great Library of Alexandria no longer existed. What did humanity lose? Entire schools of philosophy, forgotten medical breakthroughs, ancient religious texts, possibly even records of lost civilizations. We may have had the means for space navigation, complex surgery, or mechanical computing. A millennium early. Imagine if Eratosthenes' data had reached Renaissance Europe. If Hero's inventions had been developed. If Aristotle's lost dialogues survived. What would our world look like now? Despite its destruction, the Library of Alexandria continues to inspire. Modern libraries, digital archives, and knowledge centers are built with its legend in mind. Even NASA has likened its data centers to a new Alexandria. And in 2002, Egypt opened the Bibliotheca Alexandriana, stunning modern library dedicated to reviving the ancient spirit of knowledge sharing. But some questions remain unanswered. The Library of Alexandria stands as both a symbol of humanity's quest for knowledge and a cautionary tale of how easily it can all be lost. So let me ask you this. If you could recover one scroll from the library, what would it be? Drop your answer in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into ancient mysteries, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for more journeys into forgotten history, right here on the Dusty Scroll. Until next time, keep the past alive.